wave is just one of the many projects planned and underway in downtown Wichita. Now it's straight to work. You can see behind me here in Phillips Arena, the stage is set. Never been done in the history of the NCAA tournament. I mean, this is just an ice rink. I'm sure you'd love to see me practice my figure skating. Check the wheel itself, make sure there wasn't any damage. Then down here on the ground, there was a pole, a supporting structure pole that was taken out. Turf is installed here at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, and we're getting our chance to see the Cats for the first time since spring game. Well, we got to see them get their pictures taken at least. Emily Glass was silent as she left the Sedgwick County Jail today. She wore sunglasses and covered her face with a white cloth, but she appeared to be emotional. Andrew Finch's mother still has many unanswered questions. Some of those are detailed right here in a letter. How do you stop porch pirates from snagging these? Well, police say that one option is to install security cameras.
I went to one in Philadelphia, and the first prize, I think, was $18,000, and that's just an amateur tournament.
Jackson Wolf is a gamer.
Good job, Caleb.
He's the captain of an esports team for Wichita State.
It's not the same, but as, training for, running a 5K or whatever, because you're playing a game.
He's just one in a rapidly expanding community of online athletes. Online games are in a fantasy land, but for players and entrepreneurs, they're bringing in real cash.
This industry is going to grow 3 times in the next 3 years.
Ramsey Janul is CEO of Wichita startup company organizing online gaming tournaments and conventions.
There's spectators who want to watch the participants play, and we want to continue to grow that and give them engagement.
Wichita Esports' last tournament gave away $15,000 in prizes. He says sponsorships are what drive the large pools and turn online games into a booming business.
Advertisers want millennial audience, and that's really what all video gamers are.
Ramsey and Jackson both say that you have to be the best of the best to play your way through college and earn the big bucks at tournaments. But not everybody profiting from online gaming is actually good at playing.
It's not necessarily competitive. It's more entertainment.
So much more than playing video games, because I am just awful at video games.
Jason is a streamer on Twitch, an online giant for streaming.
You're like, somebody gave me their money to support me to grow my stream.
He makes a living playing games like Zelda or Destiny. He's been partnered with Twitch for a little over a year, but he still remembers his first donation.
I remember exactly who it was from. And I remember the dollar amount just like it was yesterday.
Although Jason isn't considered a big streamer,
Smog, thank you for the brand new sub, man.
He says it's still shocking that people even donate money to watch him play video games.
Sometimes it's overwhelming, in a positive way.
I felt very alone. It felt like it was all my fault, and I didn't feel like I had anybody to turn to.
Sarah Potion is a victim of online predators.
I considered that person one of my friends.
At 13, she had just received her first iPhone, and like all of her other friends with cell phones, she decided to start downloading and using chat apps.
I had one person contact me. One time the person asked me to Skype with them.
Sarah had been talking to this other person who she still thinks was a 16-year-old girl for several months, so she agreed to Skype. But during that conversation, the person asked Sarah to play Truth or Dare.
I was dared to take off my shirt for just a second. I was like, I was very hesitant because, that's not really something I was comfortable with.
Reluctantly, Sarah agreed, but right after she did,
right away I got a video in the picture of me taking off my shirt. And then I got a list of things that I was told to do if I didn't want that picture getting out.
They look for weaknesses, then they send a friend request, and then become friends with the child.
Sergeant Jeff Swanson handles this sort of crime for the Wichita Police Department. He says it's becoming increasingly more common because a child's social status often relies on their social media presence.
So the only way to prevent that kind of stuff is parents actually need to know what it is their child is doing online.
Sarah says the harassment from the predators went on for months. At one point, the original predator even sold Sarah's information to another person.
At that point, I was just done. So I told him that it was either I was going to kill myself or that I was going to call the police because I just couldn't do it anymore.
She says she deleted all the chat apps and hasn't heard from the predators since then. Now 16 years old, Sarah wants to raise awareness so other young girls don't find themselves in a similar situation.
I mean, it's scary, and it shouldn't happen, and we shouldn't have to tell girls to be worried about that.
Richard Lemunion bears many titles, but if you were to ask him, some of his favorites include father, grandfather, and founder.
This is one of the happiest things, the happiest journeys that I've ever been involved with.
Now an event that generates more than $50 million annually for Special Olympics across the globe, the law enforcement torch run started right here in Wichita.
It's actually overwhelming when you really think of the impact.
It's a pretty impressive movement, and it's something that Wichita ought to be very proud of, that the whole thing started right here.
Wichita law enforcement sponsored Kansas Special Olympics for a couple years in the 1970s. Then Wichita Police Chief LeMunyon was invited to hand out medals.
I took the medal and put it around her neck, and she gave me a hug, and I said, I'm in.
In 1981, 5 officers approached their chief with an even better idea, running a torch 5 miles to open the Summer Special Olympic Games.
In 1981, we probably raised about $300.
Then more people started taking notice.
So we decided, well, maybe this is something all law enforcement should do across the United States.
Now all 50 states and more than 40 countries are on board. And in its more than 35 years, the torch tradition keeps evolving. Now it's set up so runs take place across Kansas through multiple law enforcement agencies leading up to the Special Olympic Games. This year's torch run ends at Mays South High School, but instead of running 5 miles to get there, Mays Unified Run starts here in the Sam's Club parking lot just a little more than a mile away from Mays South High School. That way the whole community can come together and help carry the torch in.
We really strive to make Wichita bigger and better, just knowing that this is where it all started.
LeMunyon will never let you give him all the credit for starting the torch run tradition, but he'll tell you how much it means to him to see it blossom.
Well, I could not have fathomed what it is, but I am humbled to have been a part of it.
In Wichita, Katie Johnston, Eyewitness News.